Okay, so this is the magic number, and this is 1 unit. Okay, 1473. I've been around a lot of the offices in Tampa, and again, our number one objective is, well, first of all, 20% each of us should put into reinvesting for marketing. And the one thing with Leaf Filter is they're monsters with their advertising. They're all over TV, radio, predominantly I think Facebook and TV, which we want to hit TV and radio. We want to hit all the avenues too, which, you know, different marketing campaigns, we all mutually, and here's another thing with the partnership agreements, there's going to be tentatively, as of right now, 3 divisions. We're going to have operations, install, and sales. Now, I did have some consideration to add a canvassing department division, because the canvassing division would be something to consider. So at 1473, we've already taken out the sales and install pay for their job. This is 100% profit margin distributed to these 3 divisions, possibly 4. We may add a marketing division. Marketing. We may add additional tentacles to streamline our advancement without managing all these factors. A traditional business, they're doing the operations, they're coordinating and managing the scheduling, the installations and the materials and the counting, and they're managing the sales and just, it's too much to manage for one. I mean, managers and owners do this, but when you divvy it out and you have a separate process and management, exclusively owners, so this company and this company and this company and that company, it's going to the throttle method and the speed is going to go quicker. And I think quick is not going to constitute low quality because of what's implemented into the system. So for our position now, let's just do sales, install, and operations. So you do 1473 divided by 3, which is 1473 divided by 3. You got 491. So you got 490 bucks. Now, you got to remember, let's compare where we could be with Leaf Filter. Leaf Filter is doing in Tampa about $130,000 a week. Their Atlanta office is doing $400,000 a week. Atlanta, Tampa, Sacramento, California, they're doing like, I think, $450 a week. Now, because I did the math, and you're welcome to, and I'm happy to show you some of these breakdowns, but ultimately, Leaf Filter has, and let's just do the Tampa office because that's where I'm at and that's where I'm looking to start our machine. We're going to, there's a lot of learning to this, and I'm trying not to get into the teaching element as much as the benefactor or benefit of doing this. I want to get more into the benefits versus the teaching of what we're doing, but I also want to be transparent with what we're looking at. But inevitably, Tampa has roughly 15 salesmen, generating what I've equated to what we're doing, about 50 units a week. At 50 units a week times 50, that's 24,000 for one division. Let's say the sales division, 24,000 a week would go directly to the owner of the sales, as well as the install and operations. So every office, now this is directly competing with these numbers, which are, that's a lot. Can we get there? Of course. So I like to streamline that down maybe a quarter within the first year. It may amplify a lot faster, but to be moderate and somewhat realistic, getting the ball rolling, 24, we're going to say 6,000 a week. So this is at a quarter of what Leaf Filter is doing. Now, we want to take our 6,000, which I believe is doable. That's only like, let's see, 5 divided by 4 or 15. You know, maybe 5 salesmen, 4 salesmen. That's a very doable process on a small level. 6,000 a week. And remember, this is just one city. We're looking to do every major city in Tampa. We're looking to do every state and city in the country. And this whole process, once this, we're going to call these machines. Once the machine is the fulfillment of the system, which is the phone ringing to collecting the check. And obviously our service calls. But for the most part, the A to Z equation fully conducted by the divisions. That is one machine. One unit is one sale. So we got a unit, which is a sale. We got one machine. The units, again, Leaf Filter is doing about 50 units a week in Tampa. So 50 units times this. So just look at the potential capital. Now, also, I can almost guarantee that our profit margin staying at book prices, which we are competitively market, our pricing is right in the ballpark of professional installation. We are on the higher level, but we can do this. And all these numbers are based on this right here, $22 a foot. With the conviction of our salesmen, knowing that they're not, look at all the bad reviews from Leaf Filter that they're selling these homeowners, these older people, systems, and then walking away with the money and not doing nothing for them. They will do service calls, but they're only going to do so much, because I know I've done it myself. If it was too complicated or anything beyond what they are willing to offer, which they set that standard, the customer, there's endless complaints where we are going to eliminate virtually all of that because we have a virtual service. We are a gutter cleaning company. So maybe it may be worth $30 a foot, and our guys are doing. Anyway, this is a very doable number at 50 units per week. So you see how the numbers and now what we want to look at as owners. Now, something I'm very committed to doing is whatever divisions we do and whatever ownership, I want to magnify simplicity. Everyone should get the exact same profit share. We should all work on the same exact investment of our marketing. Because marketing, with operations, you're not going to really have to do much necessarily. You're still going to have to get the ball and the engine, your engine's going. But through a routine process that virtually we have all of the contracts, all of the literature, everything is all ready to go for you, that it would be very quick to get a streamlined process of your jobs. And you're not doing those jobs. You are just, in a way, managing. But everything is streamlined. So I just feel that any division we bring on, it should all be cookie cutter down the board as far as profitability. Now, if there's a division that they could just have it too easy, this and that, we'll discuss this as a group. So nonetheless, 20%. So the bottom line is getting invested in this process. If you could do your homework, which I encourage you to do, and see where we're at with competing with Leaf Filter. I do have real invoices showing the cost factor of what these people are paying. And it's actually in our presentation book. We show what Leaf Filter is paying or charging. At 20% of the 6,000, I believe that's 3,000, what, 4,000? So you're still making you're putting $2,000 a week back into marketing, but we're making $4 each per week. One office. These numbers, again, are one-fourth of what Leaf Filter is doing. So this is kind of like where it's at. $4,000 profit a week because you're putting $22,000 back in. And I don't know what kind of system we are going to get, because obviously if we have sales, install, and operations, and sales didn't properly, I don't know, they didn't manage their money right, and they don't have the 2,000. So that, I'm being realistic with some of the challenges, but we could bring in systems that could maybe take this out up front, and that we agree that we got to keep the marketing efforts going. Now, what we could also consider is adding a canvassing division or a marketing. But again, I feel strongly that everyone should get the same profit margin and profit payout, which we can discuss. Additionally, as we, all right, so I want to keep this, and I want to keep that. $4K, $490. Let's see. All right. So we're looking at 4,000 in our pockets a week, doing 1/4 the volume of Leaf Filter in Tampa. Now, 1473. So this is my bad drawing of America. Here's us in Florida and Michigan, where originally I came from. Okay, so another great thing is, we're going to start here, and then we're going to duplicate. And where we go from there, now operations is going to be its own. Operations is what we are going to, our face. That's our face, that's our representation. Customers are going to see the commercial, everything's based on that. But the LLCs for LLC for sales, LLC for install, you guys are exclusive owners of that company. So operations is going to be all over the country. We have one toll-free number. So when we market, everything goes there. And then everything from here goes to the allocated zip code of wherever that lead came from. And then obviously whatever office it is, they just run that, okay? Another thing we want to do is make sure that all the campaigns, and a good benefit to our success, and where I think Leaf Filter fails, is they leave too much margin for others to maybe change things. I mean, they're brilliant people, and they're making a ton of money, and they have amazing marketing. I think we can do just as good, if not better. But where I think we're going to really win is we want something very copacetic. Our marketing, we want to just dial into an image and who we are, frontlining Gutter Glove or possibly another product. So, there are some variables with walking up and saying, hey, we're Gutter Glove, which Gutter Glove is kind of turned off to, which we can get into. It's a liability thing, but we are considered partners with their Done Right Pro program. Something else we can talk about. But see, the nature of this is one, the competition is limited to zero. We don't have much competition. We're going to gain momentum quickly. I will admit that the marketing is going to be a strong challenge for us, but we also have a ton of profit margin to work with. Some things we are, I'm looking at as a referral program, running discounts and benefits for, we have a closing process. I'm looking at having a closing center. I've done very well in sales, as I said. I didn't continue it, but I do know the nature of it, and I do know the nature of how impulse buying works and many factors. But this is pretty much a one-call close, and with our system and some of the financing processes. It's not direct financing, which I'll get into if you're interested, but we do have the ability for the homeowner to buy virtually every time. I personally believe that the first 10 people, maybe 30, that our opportunity is going to be so extraordinary, and I feel that because of our motto and the type of numbers that we are setting our profile at, that the opportunity could expand extensively and quickly if we follow the process and we communicate consistently and work the process. As far as going worldwide, I think that's a potential opportunity too, because all we do is we still have the operations. We change our commercial and stuff to, instead of American person, it's Irish person saying this, that, and the other, and we simply duplicate our opportunistic platform to owners there. How do we become an owner if we're in Florida? Let's say you're an owner, or you're the install owner in Florida. How do you become an owner in Detroit or Maine? Well, this is where your position now is so crucial to get on board. It's a first come, kind of first serve. I personally think we're all going to get along regardless of many things, politics, religion, you name it, because it's just no different than eBay. We're all going to get a score, and to some degree, it's just like, hey, if you're not shipping, free shipping and having, positive reviews and all that, no one's going to order from you. So same thing kind of like with what we're doing, that, it's just inevitable that we're going to perform because we are owners. So those that are on board initially, if they have the interest, are going to be first to establish, because I'm thinking as a focal point to, we're going to do state by state. So we're going to call each state, I don't know, we'll give it a name. Like I said, we got a unit for each sale, we got a machine for each city, and we'll name it something, but we're going to take state by state and duplicate. We're going to establish our system, Georgia, Tennessee, and obviously this will duplicate quickly, but who's ever on board first has that first dibs. Hey, we're going to Tennessee. We're opening an office. Can you take it on? Very likely you'll be able to take it on because our system is so streamlined and self-operating that you're not going to be tied down with all these managerial tasks that, Mike from Austin, Texas, that's, doing $1 million a year is, because he's just overwhelmed with answering the phone and he's just taking on too much. You're not going to be taking on that much to where we can expand quicker. And whoever has that position of first on is the first offer. And that's how we're going to expand over the process. Now, again, there's a lot of variables that could probably come into play, some legalities that I can't really obviously say. I don't even know. But inevitably, if we're making money, we'll work it out. We'll get a law team. We will get the right partners invested and involved to where we're all protected, and not to mention tax implications and tax whatever. There's a lot of things that with this, because you're not an owner, like I said, in Austin, Texas, you're an owner in maybe 20 different states. There may be a leverage around that. Maybe we could incorporate, but inevitably the structuring is based on the profit shareability and the ownership. So a basic start, I was thinking, is your first buy-in, which I believe is the way we should go. $1,000 to $5,000 buy-in. This money is going to go directly into the 20% marketing collectively. Now, as a general fairness rule, which is why I want to keep every division even, if you come in and say, hey, I got $8,000 I want to put into this and I'm on board, and then you want to do sales, and then we get another person on board that wants to do install, and they only have $6,000, but we find that they're a partner we want to work with. So we're just going to give you your $2,000 back. So we're always going to match the lowest number. Now, some of the things are like, what are we going to do if the guy's, well, I got $50. Do we really want to work with those kind of people? You know what I mean? So you're investing in your own opportunity that's dispersed on the team. What do you bring into the team? Because we're going to start to get players that really want to win is the ideal goal. But, like I said, we all make the decision as a team. So even if there's only 1 or 2 or 5 of us, whatever, we're going to recruit and scout new owners for our expansion. And we will collectively come up with a consensus and a system that we duplicate consistently. And number one is we lock it into a Bible outline that we lock those numbers down, we lock the sales presentation down, we lock every single thing down to where it's one big cookie cutter system throughout the whole nation or throughout the whole process. Okay. And not to mention, considering the size, scope, and volume of the opportunity, yes, it is a risk, but worst case scenario, you're putting this money into the profitability and profit share, where when the profit share is paid out, it's very likely you're just going to make your money back. But putting the money in shows that you have some skin in the game and that you're a serious player. So, some of the cost factors on commercial. So some of the cost factors, like a television commercial, I got some quotes from Spectrum. We're looking at about $4,500 for, I think, like 2,200 views. Don't quote me on that. 2,400 views over 3 or 4 months. So, that's $4,500. But what's great is that 4,500 is divided by our different divisions. So, and it's a monthly payout. But we that's something that we would sit together and converse on, where our marketing dollars are going. We're going to have a team approach to this. We should take the mindset that, hey, I'm going to put my initiatives first and not worry about what I'm getting in return. Take every step forward as if everyone is behind you, and that you're going to make a wise decision for your own business that's going to help everyone else. When inevitably we're all just a pro basketball, football, you name it, team, we are all walking on that court with looking at the scoreboard, and we're on that team. So that's the great thing about the system too, is we all win and lose together. Mostly win. Okay, so here's some of the realistic challenges, and I think I'm going to wrap this up. And I don't know how long this video is, and I'll try to cut it down a little bit. But some of the realistic challenges are matching our marketing with our growth. We obviously don't want too little growth or too little return, phone calls, interest, leads, and we have 10 sales guys sitting there waiting around. They're not going to wait around. And additionally, let's say we do hit a great spot, a fishing spot, and the phone rings, and we got one salesman, and there's just eight leads to call on. So that's going to be a learning curve as far as where to invest, how to invest with the marketing returns. But that's something that with direct communications and a little bit of trial and error, we'll get a consensus of that. Secondly, streamlining communications. We need a very streamlined communication process with all of the divisions that aren't there. But, and again, do we want to add a canvassing department? We can do that. With the profit margins we have, we can add a lot of different divisions to, yes, make a little bit less and less per transaction, but quicken our growth all over the country. And I'm thinking the world. I mean, why not? Right? So, okay. What else? Payroll and taxes. Each division may have their own payroll because you in the sales department or install, your head of install, we're going to pay you, or you're going to get paid through the profit share. Now, like I said, that's something that we have to talk about. Do we want one payroll system? Train them as far as all the bonuses and incentives and pay it out all the way to the bottom end? Or I feel that it'd be more simplified to just do it at the top line, top end. So all the owners get their profit share as well as whatever the jobs were paid, and then you, as the owner, divvy it out to your management or whatever. So representation to customers, it's a little challenging because we're not Gutter Glove, and we are a collection of contractors. But I do know this: if we get a quality reputation, which we do have, because our exclusive purpose is to take care of the customer. That is our goal. That is how the system is set up, that the customer wins. Yes, we're charging enough money. We are charging enough money to make sure that happens, and that's what we're doing. And with a quality product in place, we are inhibiting our maintenance to fulfill our agenda of being a gutter cleaning system company. Okay, so our representation isn't such a big factor because the salesman is typically going to be, I've been in that position working with, I worked as sales. My history was I sold hurricane impact windows for this guy that was just the biggest. I mean, his reviews were horrendous, but he did quality work, and I really don't know why he had such bad reviews. I really don't, because the product was gorgeous and it was just extremely high priced. But the people that got it installed were happy. The bad reviews, I think, were just from him